Want to stay up to date with everything that's happening on the show? Or do you have a story that you'd like to submit for one of our Listener Stories episodes? You can get in touch with the show via the website at www.hauntedukpodcast.com, on Instagram at Haunted UK Podcast, on X at Haunted UK Pod, or you can email us at contactus@hauntedukpodcast.com. We're also on Facebook and TikTok. And if you want to support the show, you can do it via either Patreon or Ko-fi. Both platforms have exactly the same content, but work in slightly different ways. One of the advantages of Patreon is its sleek user interface, but if you want to avoid those pesky additional charges Apple, Google and Patreon apply to your subscription, then why not give Ko-fi a try? Simply open a browser window and type ko-fi/Haunted UK Podcast. That's Ko-fi/Haunted UK Podcast, and you'll soon find us. Whichever platform you choose, we're sure you'll enjoy the bonus content. Thanks for listening and enjoy the episode. Gail Porter is an ambassador for some very important charities. Please check out the work they do and find out how you can get involved too. The charities include Homewards, a homeless charity, Together Co., a charity that makes sure people are not alone and organise volunteers to share their time with people who may be lonely, as well as organising events for people in the local community. Street Vet, which is a charity to support owners and their pets who are homeless. Changing Faces, a charity to support people with visual differences. The Samaritans, and the SSPCA. If you can, please support these charities and get involved. Thank you.
I can't remember. Were you there?
No.
No, all right. You don't have to say so.
My mistake.
I'm gonna cut that out now. That's made me ultra paranoid now. That's fair. And the cat is right behind you.
Not you, Gail. But no, because
I feel terrible. Welcome to Talk Haunts, Gail Porter. You are, of course, iconic broadcaster, stand-up comedian, mental health campaigner and advocate. You're known to millions throughout the 1990s and 2000s, presenting incredible shows such as Fully Booked, Live and Kicking, I used to watch that loads, Top of the Pops, The Big Breakfast, used to watch that loads, the list could go on. You are also an authority on all things supernatural, presenting shows such as Dead Famous, Spooked Scotland, and the Paranormal Activity, the live shows. Gail, we are so happy to have you on to discuss all things weird and wonderful and talk haunts with you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Gail, we are absolutely delighted to have you on the show. Now, the amount of shows that you've presented is prolific, and these are shows that are really iconic. But earlier in your career, you presented Dead Famous. More recent years, you've moved into other paranormal-themed shows such as Spooked Scotland. Have you always been interested in the paranormal and the supernatural, or is this something that was sparked at a later time in your career?
Well, to be honest with you, I've always sort of had an open mind, but when the idea of Dead Famous first came up, I remember it was a girl called Charlotte Wheeler, and she phoned me. She was a friend of mine. She went, "We've got this idea. We'd like you to meet this American psychic called Chris Fleming." And I was like, right, is this a joke or is this real? And she goes, no, it's real. And then she said, you guys going to meet, and then we're going to go to, where did we go now? I can't remember. We did something in England anyway. I just remember meeting Chris, and he's like, yeah, hi, ma'am, Chicago, I get possessed, I get this. And I was like, oh my God, is this for real? Is this real? And But yeah, so it was all a bit new to me because I'd never come across anything like this. And so at first we got to it was where Mark Boland crashed his car.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went to that, and then Chris is feeling the car and going, I feel this and I feel this, and I was going, nah, I don't believe you. And so anyway, we got on really well. But I was just completely bemused by the whole thing because I like the idea of ghosts, but then suddenly him sort of feeling everything and changing, and I've never seen that before. We ended up getting the commission to do the whole series. They said, we're going to do it in America. And I thought, fabulous. I just had, my daughter was 2 at the time, I think. So it was luckily, my ex wasn't doing much. So he was coming backwards and forwards to America. So they were having a great time, going to Universal Studios, doing all the things that kids should do while mummy's looking for dead people. I remember they had a career day at school, and I got called in, and she said, all the kids are going, oh, my mummy's a doctor, or my mummy's a dentist. And they got to Honey, that's my daughter, and she went, my mummy looks for dead people.
Brilliant.
And so anyway, so the first few times I went over there, there was like loads of people sitting around tables. We did Marilyn Monroe, and everyone was getting possessed. And I went, what on earth the blinking heck is happening? And they're all like, whoa, yeah, and running around, and it was all sort of farcical. And so I ended up kind of like falling out with Chris all the time, going, I don't believe you. And then he's falling out with me. So it's like a brother and sister. So when we were like having a drink after filming or whatever, or we'd go for something to eat, we'd have a laugh, and then suddenly he'd get possessed. And then I'd just go, what are you doing? But then it got to the stage that the more I got into it, I think it was at, so we went to the Calneval Lodge, we went to Lake Tahoe. There was a few times, the Hotel Colorado. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah.
Well, there was one room, I think this is when the whole turning point happened, because I was in this one room and something just wasn't right.
And you felt that, Gail?
Oh, yeah. I was just, I started to panic a bit. They were all chatting, and there was a woman with us, and she went, is Gail all right? And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening. I didn't know anything about the hotel, didn't know anything about the room. And I just wanted to cry. And I said, I need to get out. And then the phone rang, and I picked the phone up, and it was dead. And I don't know if it was just somebody called a wrong number or something, but it was in a hotel room. So it wasn't like a member of the crew or anything. And then I started to sort of panic. And I went outside, and I was bawling my eyes out, and they said, like, we'll take you away. And I said, something bad happened, something really bad. And it was a woman, and there was a child, and da-da-da. And it turned out it was a woman, and she was pregnant, and she'd gone to that room, and the guy didn't want her or something. And she went down to the beach and killed herself and the baby.
Oh, wow.
And I knew nothing of this. And it was just the guy at the hotel. And I thought, oh, I don't like this anymore. And I was up all night. I would not sleep. I was watching wars. I was thinking, wow. And that was the first time I actually thought there is something here. And then after that, everywhere we went, it seemed to be kind of like if a child, they seemed to think children's spirits seemed to be around me, which made sense because I was always very tearful and always felt like I wanted to give someone hugs.
Yeah.
So then it sort of carried on. And everywhere I went, I felt more and more sensitive. And there's someone in the house, I know that for a fact, because Ryan from Spooked Scotland, he came here one time. He was staying somewhere in London, and he gave me a REM pod. So you guys all know what REM pods are.
Yeah.
They pick up, electromagnetic fields and stuff. So he said, where do you feel it in your house? And I said, it's on the stairway. And because my door opens at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have the windows open or anything.
Oh my God.
Every night. And the cat goes nuts. It was Ziggy Stardust. Bye, Ziggy. She's down there. She'll come and say hi in a bit.
The name.
Yeah, but the REM pod was just going mental. And Ryan said, thank God I'm not staying here. And I went, you do castles with me. So he wasn't staying at mine anyway, but he's just like, there's the REM pod. See you later. And my daughter says, Mum, there's something in the house.
Really?
Yeah, and when our friends came to stay as well, they couldn't sleep. They were going, there's something in the house. It wasn't just this flat. It was my last flat and then the flat before. So it's me, I think.
You don't think something's followed you or attached itself?
Yeah. Everybody thinks so. Chris thinks so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I find that fascinating that you actually picked up on the child in that hotel room. Nobody told you about the hotel room. Nobody told you about the history of it. Nobody gave you any hints or tips or bits of tiny information about what had happened. Yet you picked that up.
Yeah, because we were there to talk about I Love Lucy.
Yeah,
Lucille Ball, yeah.
So it's something to do with her. So, I mean, I was way off. I mean, it was nothing to do with her that I'd picked up. And then it wasn't until afterwards, one of the ladies was being really sympathetic towards me. And she said, actually, in that room, was this woman. I don't remember the full story because I was so freaked out. And then when we went to the Edinburgh Vaults, I was drawn to a corner, and they said that's where the children used to go all the time and huddle in the corner. And it was every time we went, something would come up, and it'd either be like a mother or a child or something.
Yeah.
Because whenever in Spooked Scotland, I always found your reaction quite relatable and interesting, you know, because you would pick up on things. You'd walk into a room and you'd be quite emotional about it. Do you think you are quite sensitive since that episode back in America, or do you think you've always been a bit like that?
I always felt a little bit like that because I always remember little strange things. I've always slept walked, and I've always been safe, surprisingly, because I slept walked once in Soho when I lived there. That could have ended in disaster. I was on the 8th floor of my apartment, and luckily I was wearing pajamas, thank goodness. And I got the lift all the way downstairs about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, witching hour as usual. And then I'd gone for a walk, and one of the local bin men who knew me saw me in my pajamas and turned me around and took me back.
Oh, wow.
And I was really freaked out. And he said, well, I think you're sleepwalking, so I didn't want to wake you, but I don't know what you're doing. And I was going, oh my God. The middle of Soho in London at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
But and I've always felt there was always something around. I don't know what it was when I was younger. I always felt that, not like protection, but I was never on my own, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when you film, it's all very heightened because, you know, producers, directors, it's like, we need something happening now. And you're going, well, it doesn't just happen.
No.
So that's where a lot of our frustrations lie, because Chris wanted everything. We'd keep working and working until something would happen. In fact, when we did Spook Scotland, my neighbour downstairs phoned. She went, Gail, you're on Gogglebox. What am I on Gogglebox for? And I remember what it was. We were in, I think it was the Isle of Arran, and Chris, it was pouring with rain. It was freezing cold. And Chris is going, he was talking about fairies and imps. And then this branch fell down from a tree. And I was like, effing, listen, I'm going to get a proper effing job. And they kept it in. And I was like, oh God. I'm going to get a proper job.
Last year, Gail, you did the Paranormal Activity podcast live shows.
Yes.
Richmond Theatre. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we didn't do the whole run, unfortunately, because I think the production company ran out of money. But we did Richmond Theatre, and I can't really remember much about it, but everyone was so into it, because I was thinking, I wonder if people will actually come and see a paranormal show. And
yeah.
I can't remember. Were you there?
No.
No, all right. You don't have to say so.
I'm gonna cut that out now. That's made me ultra paranoid now. That's fine. And the cat is right behind you.
Not you, Gail. But no, because
I feel terrible.
It was good because it was a really eclectic bunch of people. So some people were very inquisitive, other people had some experiences. We had a woman reading cards. There was quite a lot going on. I was getting a little bit confused as to what was going on next. And because you can't predict what's going to happen. No. And sometimes, you know, they'd have a few drinks when they're at a theatre as well, don't they? So everything's a bit woohoo.
Relaxed, yeah.
So like we were getting people onto the stage going, you can't really come up and do stuff with psychics if you've had a drink. It's not going to work really. But no, I really enjoyed myself. But we only did a few shows, and then I think it was just proving to be too expensive, I think. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah. It's supposed to be haunted, isn't it, Richmond Theatre?
Yeah, you could feel it the minute you walked in.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful and lovely. So, but I went to see the Uncanny shows with Danny Robbins.
Yeah, with our man Danny Robbins.
Oh, we love Danny because Evelyn that was on Spooked Scotland.
Yeah.
So they're great. They're doing brilliantly.
They're doing fantastically well. So yeah, we had Danny on just before Christmas, and he was a dream to.
He's a lovely man, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a dream to interview. He really, really was. But we've kind of said that it's reignited people's interest in the paranormal and the supernatural as well.
Yeah.
Especially the format that it's presented in as well.
It's not. It's really well done because it is looking at all aspects, which I think, you know, it's all very well doing a haunted show where people are just running around and screaming, not naming certain shows that I just can't watch, but you just think, oh, for goodness sake. But it's nice. The good thing with Dead Famous was we did the history first, and the same with Scotland. So we'd get historians in, and you'd get really interesting, wonderful stories.
Yeah.
So like when we went to look for Marilyn Monroe in America, we sat with our hairdresser, and we met the person that lived across the road, and we met people at the hotel where she stayed in with Frank Sinatra. So you get all that, and then you do the spooky stuff.
Yeah, I could just keep watching those. I absolutely loved the Betty Davis episode where you went to Salem and you tried to summon her spirit with that high witch in the forest at night, and it looked terrifying. It looked really...
Well, I don't know. Was he fully dressed when he was up the hill?
Yeah, he was in his full witch gear, and you were in the forest, and then you did the sort of necromancy ceremony afterwards. It was just amazing, but it would scare me. It did seem quite
it was quite frightening. And I think he sort of like somebody stripped down to pants at one point. I remember that.
Oh God!
And it's freezing cold, and someone's walking around with pants and talking to the skull of a bird or something. And then, and then we all went for a drink afterwards. We were all convinced we'd be drunk some sort of.
Oh God!
We're all woke up the next day. What on earth happened? What? How did we get back? Occasionally, we had one guy on. I'm not going to say which one, but he got possessed, and the director's going, Gail, you're not going to believe this, but just you can't laugh, okay? She's like, no, seriously. So anyway, this guy comes in. He comes in, and then, oh my God, I've not even watched that one back. But then he suddenly turns into this person who everyone knows, but he's not. And you can see the cameras are going like this because the poor guy genuinely thinks he is this person. He's got the wrong accent.
You did meet some interesting people on that show.
And then there was one point where we were at the house where they filmed The Birds. Something weird happened in that house as well, and she was going crazy and nuts. And then we were all a little bit, I was scared, and I think a couple of people were a bit spooked. And we got outside, and the car wouldn't start, and we were stuck in the middle of nowhere. And I was going, "Oh my God, we're all going to die!"
Oh my God, it was like a Hitchcock film, really. Were you ever convinced that you or Chris did make connection with any of those old stars?
Oh yeah, Chris got possessed quite a lot at first.
Yeah.
Then it sort of calmed down a bit. Yeah, that was the one bit that we sort of fell out over.
Yeah.
But he was totally with me, once he came back to being Chris. I didn't really get it half the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it calmed down a little bit. Because there was one time we did a live episode and there was loads of psychics. And it's like a psychic standoff. I'm trying to control them all. It was live, and we're running around, and they were going, "No, I've got somebody's over here, and somebody's over here." And I was like, "Oh my God, I don't even know what a collective noun is, or what do you call a bunch of psychics?"
A murder of psychics.
That's a good one.
All over the place. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. They're going, Gail, follow that person. No, that person. No, that person. I was going, ah. So, no, but we had great fun. But when we were in Alcatraz as well, that was funny. It was really scary. Have you been to Alcatraz?
Never been to Alcatraz.
No.
It is one place I would love to go and see.
Yeah, seen it from afar, but yeah.
Especially with the amount of people that have been in there. Obviously, Al Capone and... was it Machine Gun Kelly was in there, I think.
What, Machine Gun Kelly?
Was it Machine Gun Kelly? What the bloody hell? What's the name?
The man that goes out with Meg.
No. There was a real gangster called that. I'm going to cut
really?
that.
I thought they reopened it just for him. That's nice.
Oh my God. I really need to fact check.
Yeah. Well, we went where the Birdman was of Alcatraz.
Yes.
Because we were allowed to go into the hospital bit, which was not allowed for tourists to go into. But I remember there was one psychic. She was locked in a solitary confinement next to me. So I was locked in solitary confinement. You know, the things you do. And I'm crying, I think, at one point, because I'm just sitting in a cell on my own in the dark with a camera while everyone's gone. There's 5 of us on the island. There's no security. We can't get off. And I think you start to scare yourself even more, thinking, what something is here? I mean, I love my slasher movies, but I don't want to be in one.
No.
It's kind of like getting possessed. She starts going, oh my God. And I don't think they kept this in, but she was going, there's a man in my cell. And I was like, oh, and she went, oh, and he's being really naughty, but not you, Gail.
Oh.
So it's like, I was sort of like crying, going, oh. I was like, God, not even the dead fancy me. He doesn't even like you.
Wow.
Not you. It's amazing. We learned so many things and had so many laughs. And when it finished, I mean, we argued. We all argued because we're in each other's pockets all day, every day, all night, every night. And but we got to see amazing things. We were in New Orleans before the horrible floods happened, and we were in San Francisco, and we stayed at the Calneva Lodge, which is one of the most terrifying places I've ever stayed in my entire life.
Really?
Oh my God. We actually went back twice. Oh,
What happened there?
well, there was one time I had hair, and so I was gone down to the boatyard, and this is where the guy that had the Calneva, he used to keep a lion as a pet, and he had this room downstairs, like a cage room. So if people were gambling with him upstairs, or they got too drunk or something, he'd put them downstairs and lock them in the lion's cage. Wake up, like, they'd been so drunk, didn't know what was happening. Wake up with the lion.
Yeah, and that's the strangest night out they've ever had.
So I'm not sure how much this is true, but this is what they were saying, and it was very weird. But anyway, I went down to the boatyard on my own, and I was really scared because they kept saying, Gail will do it. And I was like, oh, not me again. Why? Because I was always in tears or something. So I walked down to the boatyard and I felt my hair getting pulled. So I thought someone was behind me. So I was like, get Chris or whatever. I turned around, no one was there. And I thought, I must have caught it or something. Don't panic. And then you say, don't panic. So you panic. And then I walked back and my hair was actually tied to the rail, what do you call it, like a baluster when coming down?
Yeah, it's
a banister, I'd say.
It's actually tied on the banister. A whole load of my hair had been pulled out of my head and it was tied on a banister.
Oh my God.
I freaked out. Because, nobody else was down there. And the good thing is, because we were all filming ourselves, we could see who was where. And that really freaked me out.
It's physical, isn't it?
My hair had been falling out, bits and clumps of it had been falling out. And I didn't know what alopecia was. I had no idea, but it only had like a few bits and pieces. And we thought, just shave it off because it's just ridiculous. And so I'd left my house, left my daughter at home with her dad. And I had to phone and say, look, mummy's coming home bald. And they were like, I don't believe you. And I said, well, it's not really funny, is it? I'm not going to make that up as a joke. So anyway, it was all, I'm not going to go into that much, but I was really upset. But when my daughter told me, she thought it was really cool. So it was fine.
Oh, that's good. But it happened that quickly.
Yeah, 4 weeks in total. And I was completely bald because I had long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when my mum, before she passed away, she went, Gail, I'll just tell you something now, right? You don't have alopecia. And I went, right, okay. How? She went, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do. It's like an autoimmune thing, something like that.
Yeah.
No, it's the ghosts. They've taken it. What?
Thanks, man.
It's like you messed with the dark side and they've taken your hair. Okay, then. I was like, right, there you go.
What do you say to that?
So if anyone says, how did you lose your hair? I was like, just ghosts. They took it in the night.
Gosh, that's something my mum would say.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into what my mum would say.
Yeah.
I went to Fort William not long ago. There's a ski resort not far from Fort William, a ski resort, and you go up on the cable cars. And I was probably just a matter of a few miles away from Lewabelt, which is one of the bigger episodes of I think it was the first episode of Uncanny.
It was one of the first, I think. Yeah,
sure it was
in the first season.
Yeah, about the climbers that stayed in the.
In
Lewabelt. It was a terrifying time. And Scotland is incredibly haunted. Many people say that Scotland's incredibly haunted. Do you agree with that? And do you have a particular part of Scotland that you feel that there is a lot of supernatural paranormal energy with?
Yeah, there is. It's rife in history, and
yes,
which is it's amazing. And there's so many people who want to tell you stories. And I can't remember now the name of the town that we went into, where they had a bell tower, and they used to put what they thought were witches up there. Oh my gosh, what was the name of the town? And it was like a pink castle. I've not dreamt this, have I? No. Oh my gosh, it's going to drive me crazy.
Sounds amazing.
But it's oh my gosh. We'll look it up. We can find it. But it was somewhere in Scotland, and it had a bell tower. It was a tiny little village. And when we went into this house, I went into the bedroom, and again, I just went to one spot, and I felt unwell, and I felt something was. I thought there were spiders, and I was like this, and they go, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Have you got spiders?" And she went, "No." She went, "That's where there's somebody always touches people's heads right where you're standing." And I was like, oh wow. Oh no. How would you even know that? But she said it doesn't happen to lots of people, but some people, it tends to be women. And then they put me up in a bedroom again with REM pods. And so the guys were all in different rooms, and they were sitting there going, nothing. I went into a room and it's like, and then I'd walk out the room, then it'd stop. And then Chris would go in, nothing. Ryan would go in, nothing. I would go in.
That's Fascinating.
And then I said to one of the guys, because he said, "You're in that room." I said, "I'm not staying in this room. This feels really bad." And they go, "No, no, no, it's fine." Like, it's not fine. It is not fine. And they said, "Look, fine, lock the door and everything." And I was like, "No." So I'm like knocking on everyone's doors going, "Can I sleep with you?" But not like that. And they're going, "No, Gail, just go and sleep in your room." I said, "Please don't leave me on my own." And so anyway, I went into my room, and there was like a little writing room where they write diaries. And I had shut the door because I didn't like having that door open. There was something very odd that didn't feel right. And then when I woke up in the morning, the door was wide open. I'd locked it, and my door was locked as well. So no one could get in my room, and no one could unlock it. And that door was open. And I was like, forget that for a laugh. I had to leave early because I had another job. So everybody was still asleep. And I'm sort of getting out. And I was waiting for the taxi outside in the middle of nowhere, thinking, oh my God, make it stop. So I don't know what happened there. The door was open. And it's as if someone had been in my room, obviously, but my door was locked. So I don't know what was.
They seem drawn to
Very
you,
drawn.
don't they? I mean, because you were skeptical in Dead Famous,
Yeah.
but because you're seemingly quite sensitive, have you changed your stance?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think I was overwhelmed at the beginning of Dead Famous because when you don't know these things, and then suddenly you've got American psychics left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Not in the show, but even when you went out in LA or something, it was like you get your card read here, get this read here. I'm a psychic, and it was all very much. Is it an American thing? I don't really get it. And but once I sort of relaxed into it, and I was calm and took my time, then things started to happen, and I thought, wow. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Without all the drama, I didn't really want the drama of it all, but it was really interesting. The times that I would cry, and it was like the crying was coming from like really in my stomach. Just very odd. So, but it's nice though. I feel I've been welcomed into a group of the dead. So,
Yeah, an exclusive club. Is there one particular case, Gail, that has always fascinated you? Whether it's one of the big famous ones, but is there one that's absolutely fascinated you that you've just thought that really is? It could really be the one that kind of breaks the mold, that says this is real. This is absolutely real.
I would definitely say the Culneva Lodge for one. The whole place was just bonkers and really scary. And I mean, Alcatraz again was another place that was just, I could go back there again and again and again. And I think it was because it was uncomfortable, obviously, because the people that stayed in Alcatraz weren't the nicest people, obviously.
No.
There's a real sense of dread when you went in there. And it was almost claustrophobic. You could feel it, when you just go into that. The minute you walk in there, you think, oh gosh, this is not pleasant. And in Scotland, I mean, pretty much all the places we went to in Scotland were great. I love the history, and I've just been so lucky. But when we went to Vegas, have you guys been to Vegas?
No, oh no.
No, I haven't been to Vegas. No.
Thing is, I can understand where people go for 2 days because it is mad. There's no.
Yeah.
There's got that, they're pumping this air around that makes you feel like you just don't know what's going on, to be honest. So we had a couple of days there, and everyone's nuts, and it's fine. And there's loads of, people flying over for hen nights and weekends, so stag weekends. But then after day 10, me and Chris were driving up and down the strip going, oh, we're still here. Oh my God.
Sensory overload.
We're going to drive into the desert and look for dead bodies. Come on.
It's like Blackpool on steroids.
Oh my God, it was like we were on speed in Blackpool. Everything was going. Everything was just so over the top. And but you know what? I think every single place I went to, there's occasionally you go to a theatre and nothing was happening. And the director's going, we're not leaving. And it gets about 6 o'clock in the morning. You're going, we're filming again at 8. We have to stop.
Yeah.
You don't want to make things up. You want things to happen. But if it's not happening, you can't just click it. Or the Queen Mary, that was scary. The boat.
Yes, yeah. It's a floating hotel, isn't
that
it?
That was scary. Apart from the guy that was taking us round, I can't remember what his name was. He was doing all the tours and everything. And we were looking for a spirit of a little girl who apparently died in a swimming pool or something on the boat. Can't remember the entire story. He would sort of do his spooky voice and everything, but he was in proper tour mode. So he'd go, whatever the girl's name, can't remember, say it was Wendy or whatever. He'd go, Wendy. Wendy, and then you look at his watch, just go, no, Wendy, no, next. Like, all right, she's not here in time slot. Let's go. Go. I go, whoa. Whoa. So I didn't really know what was going on there. Obviously, it was his job, but it didn't really give us time because there's more tours coming in. So I would have liked to have stayed on there a bit longer, apart from Mr. Mad tour guide going, yes, walk over the portal. Everywhere we went was funny. We went to what's the name of that place? It's like it's got the fun fair, but it's not as cool as. Oh, is it not Staten Island? No, I can't remember.
Oh, is it near New York? Oh, it's the beach, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the one that's kind of like old school and it's in horror films. It looks like a Scooby-Doo place.
Yeah, it was in Big.
Yeah, that kind of really weird, creepy, and it's got museums of like babies with two heads and stuff.
Yeah, I went there for my honeymoon. I can't think of the name.
That was an interesting one.
It's great. It's just at my street. But yeah, it's gone out of my head, but I know what you mean.
Fuck me.
My God, it's just not coming at all. I can't think of it. But yeah, America is quite creepy, I think. I'd love to go to New England. I find, with all the witches and stuff.
Because it's really sad, isn't it? So, right, we're going to burn you or we're going to dunk you. And if you die, then you're not a witch.
Yeah.
I know, you just can't win. You can't win. And Scotland's just rife, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, Scotland it was. Yeah, if I can remember the blinking place.
I know, it's going to come to me tomorrow. I can't think. I've got a picture of it in my living room. I'm going to have a look.
I live in a street where Dennis Nielsen used to live. So I thought it would be quite interesting to do a series of like who buys serial killers' houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You're well up for that.
Yeah. I wouldn't buy one though, would you?
Yeah.
You would? I
keep saying that. My daughter says, what do you actually do, Mum? I went, I'm a detective. She went, no, you're not. Because I watch all these programs, Meet, Marry, Murder, Snapped, Women Who Kill, all at night. And I was going, she's like, have you ever done Tinder, Mum? I went, yeah, put all that on it. Women Who Kill, Meet, Marry, Murder. No, I haven't really. I love serial killers. I don't love serial killers. I'm just very...
They're fascinating.
Yeah. Well, they're quite cosy to watch, aren't they? Well, they're not cosy, but, You're
really digging a hole now, Marie.
I am. I need to stop. I'm going to stop. Please cut that. Talking about this, though, I mean, you raise a lot of awareness around mental health. Do you think ghost stories are good for the soul? Good for mental health? Well, I know some people would say no if they're scared of them, but a lot of people do like them.
I've never really linked the two together.
No.
You're going to be scared of a ghost. It's not going to happen, whether you've got issues with your mental health or not.
Yeah.
No, I think, well, for me, I feel quite comforted that something's in the house.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I don't... Everyone's different. I mean, where you feel that people just want you out. We've gone to certain buildings and you think we should not be here.
Yeah,
you just wouldn't want to stay there.
No,
but no, I find it quite comforting.
I just think we need more ghosts. I just think it elevates the everyday. It gives a bit of richness, intrigue, interest to people and places. I just think it just adds a bit of interest. I like to escape into them.
I've got a Ouija board upstairs. My friend won't even come into the house.
You got a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Do you ever use it?
No, I just leave it, and in case it moves sometimes, it's probably the cat, but it's moved a little bit. But no, I just thought I bought it when I was in, where was I? One of the spooky places I went to, I bought one. And I was going, that's a bad idea. I think I've gone through everything. I don't really care.
Yeah, have you ever done a Ouija board?
Yeah, we've done loads of Ouija boards. At first I was like, I'm not touching that. I don't know. And also it's very difficult to know. There were occasions where you could feel someone was putting pressure on it. But then there were other occasions where you thought, oh no, our fingers really are not touching that. I didn't like if they felt like they were pushing it. I was like, no, I feel you're pushing it. That's not good. Do it for effect because it's not working.
We always ask this question of our guests, Gail. Do you have a spooky book or film recommendation that's one of your favourites?
Well, I've just watched... Rosemary's Baby is always up there. That's a great.
Oh, I love that film. Yeah,
love that film. And I watched this series on Netflix the other day called A Brand New Cherry Flavor.
Right.
Okay,
it's not kind of it's more sort of witchcraft and thriller and all sorts. It's absolutely crazy. It took me. I watched the first 2 episodes twice before I thought, oh my God, what am I watching? So that's quite a good one. I don't really get The Shining always terrifies me just because obviously it's not like crazy. It's the mentality.
Yeah, that's a great book and film.
Yeah, the book, everything is just brilliant. It's so great because you can actually feel the intensity, and it's so brilliantly made. And the birds, I just don't like birds anyway.
No.
I mean, fine as long as they don't touch me. And I don't like birds in cages. And so the bird scares me. Alfred Hitchcock, the birds.
Yeah, same here. I love birds, but birds of prey, I always think they're going to go for me.
Yeah.
Which is irrational, but...
Bite on my foot from when my mum took on this blinking cockatoo that one of the neighbours had died. And my mum said, we'll take it. And I said, you can't just take a cockatoo because they'll live forever.
They do.
And I go, hello, hello, hello. Hello. And I was like, oh my God. And then you put the little curtain over it at night time. She goes, night, night, night. I was like, oh, this is mental. My mum's going, oh, it's comforting. I went, no, it's not. And it bit me.
Oh.
And I've still got the scar right to the bone. I killed it. I don't really.
You're getting quite the picture of you, Gail. The serial killers.
Birds, I'm just a little bit.
The bird
if
killer.
they're out flying and that's wonderful, but just don't touch me.
Yeah. It's when they're in the house. I find that quite creepy when a bird is flying about in a house. That's supposed to be an omen, isn't it?
My grandma had a budgie. I never really understood why women, like how grannies and grandpas had budgies. That was a bit weird.
They were quite a thing in the 80s, weren't they? Everyone seemed to have a budgie.
It was 70s. 70s with my grandma, and then Fred went missing. That was the budgie, Fred. And but Grandpa accidentally left the window open.
He made a dash for it.
Hey, yeah, birds fly high, have a great time, but don't touch me.
That is fair enough. Gail, what have you got coming up this year?
Yeah, I've been doing lots of talks, which has been great. So I've been sort of going around the country doing talks on all sorts of different things, whether it's sort of diversity, inclusion, just good things. And I've just finished a stand-up tour, so I'm taking a bit of a break from that because I did have great fun, but it's quite lonely.
Yeah.
Obviously, apart from a ghosty, but you know.
Yeah, you got your ghosts, yeah.
So I've got, what else have I got? Yeah, it's all very sort of eclectic, random stuff. Nothing much has come to me on the telly that I've really liked. It all seems to be celebrity stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of that kind of stuff. I'd like to do another documentary because we did a documentary called Being Gail Porter. It was about mental health, homelessness, and all sorts of stuff. We even won a BAFTA. It's up there somewhere. Can you see it?
I can see it. Yeah, I've watched it. It was
I've watched it as well.
Yeah, really powerful.
I've seen most of it while we were editing it, but it was a bit difficult to watch after doing.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Lots said to me when I won the BAFTA, she looked at it, she went, Mum, did you win that BAFTA for being mental? So there's lots of different talks, and I've been writing a book, which is with a production company actually. We're not sure if it's going to come out as a book, or is that your mum or a ghost?
Do you know what? I've got no idea what that was.
Oh, we've had a moment.
I had a moment, just to quickly interrupt, I had a moment a weekend or so ago where I was sat in here on my own. My mum and my sister had gone out shopping, and that door behind me knocked 5 times.
Oh.
Yeah, and I sat here and I just stared at the door.
Oh, well, you finally got a ghost story, Steve.
I just stared at the door. I just seriously stared at the door, and I got my little meter out, and the area for the door was going absolutely mad.
2 seconds, I've got it. Coney Island.
Coney Island. Oh my God. Yeah, that's it. That is it.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed that came to you.
Where they've got 2-headed babies. And it's funny because obviously it's all fake and all that. Women with beards and stuff. But women do have beards. My great grandma had a beard. And but we went in and maybe this was in LA, but I remember there was so many. We used to have Chrisisms in a little book because Chris would come out with such funny phrases sometimes. And I said, look, I'm just going to go in there because we're going to do a talking head. So in TV terms, you know what that means. It means like I sit and talk to camera and they talk to me, but they cut it. It's your headshot. And I said, I'm just going in there to do a talking head. And he didn't hear me properly. He went, oh my God, there's a floating head in that room. No, I'm doing a talking head. It's TV terms. He went, not a floating head. I mean, there's not a floating head in that room.
Very important to establish a difference.
Yeah, the guy show, he was introducing himself, and I was like, I'm Gail, I'm the host, and he's like, pleasure. And then the cameraman, I am James, I'm the cameraman. He went, pleasure. Chris is like that. Hey, I'm Chris. And the guy went, pleasure. And Chris goes, pleasure, that's an unusual name. Pleasure to meet you. He went, oh, right, yeah.
Well, Gail, thank you so much for your time today. You are an icon to us.
You really are.
Thank you very much for having me. Sorry it's taken so long, but we got there in the end.
We did. I mean, yeah, we absolutely love we love your approach to life, and it's really, really refreshing.
Worth the wait.
And just thank you so much indeed.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
So if you're a member of either the Possessed or Haunted tiers, then the interview doesn't end here. Gail Porter was kind enough to stick around for a little bit longer. So please enjoy. Is there a haunted location, Gail, that you would love to visit, or a haunted location that has stayed with you? Now, I think you mentioned the hotel room, didn't you?
There was a room called the Hotel Colorado, and that was a breaking point for me where I really thought there is someone with me or something is going on here, and it's not gone away from me yet.
Again, I think that was the place as well that really switched you on to the whole realm of the paranormal and the supernatural, really. And what truly scares you in life?
Quite a big question, sorry. But you can make it as brief as you wish.
Politics scares me in life.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy I'd rather deal with the dead.
It's true though, isn't it? I think human beings are far scarier.
Yeah, I think people in power scare me the most. And
there's one that's scaring us right now.
It's terrifying. So having a spirit in my house is very comforting, and I love it to bits. It's like, the best things in the world are animals, aren't they? They're adorable, your cats and your dogs, and you can just trust everyone. People, we don't know what's happening.
No.
You got a bit of power, but so powerful people in high places terrify me.
Yeah.
Ghosts, great friends.
We need more of them. I think ghosts are great. That's a good place to end, Steve. Ghosts are great.
Yeah, ghosts are great, and I just need to congratulate the cat.
Look, say hello. Can you see her?
Oh, he's lovely. That's Ziggy.
Ziggy, it's a she, but she's I don't know how old she is. We don't know. How old are you, Ziggy? Hi.
Oh.
She's a rescue cat. So we think this is her third home. This is her forever home, but I don't think she had too good a time of it in the last two places she was. So she's been with me now for about 3.5, 4 years.
Oh, she looks really happy. I'm trying to see if I got my cat. My cat usually, Claude, he usually makes an appearance, doesn't he, Steve? But
yeah, Claude.
So if I go away, my neighbours look after her. They'll come in. But, I was away for 3 days, and I have to bring home proper treats like fresh prawn, fresh chicken. But it's my fault. I started it, obviously. And now she's just going, where have you been? She literally sleeps in my arm like this, snuggled up, and she puts her head on my neck. And if I get up to do anything in the night, like make a cup of tea, she's really pissed off.
I'm gonna end then with not a paranormal question, but I'm going to end with a serial killer question, because I do love serial killers. So we're just going to sway off topic for a second. Favourite's the wrong word, but most fascinating serial killer for me, it has to be Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
It has to be Jeffrey Dahmer.
You watched the film?
The guy who played Dahmer, I thought was absolutely fantastic. He'd even got the voice down to a T.
He does all the American Horror Stories.
He's absolutely brilliant.
I would say that with scary stuff to watch was American Horror Stories, like when they did the carnival one. Oh my God, terrifying.
Yeah.
Dahmer is just don't understand how that happens. And I just watched the one, I watched Charles Manson, because I remember reading Helter Skelter when I was a kid at school, and it got taken off me. And then my teacher called in my mum to, you know what your daughter's reading? She went, yes, it's about a playground. No, it's actually about a serial killer kind of man who was in a cult called Charles Manson. She was like, oh, I thought it was a Helter Skelter. She went, yeah, no.
No.
So I find them all fascinating but terrifying. I wouldn't want to meet a serial killer, but they're all weird. The one that John Wayne Gacy, finds terrifying me. Yeah, it's just so fascinating, and it shouldn't be, really.
Yeah.
I think it's the way that they can slot into public life and just not be seen.
Yeah, it's so.
Obviously, you've got Richard Ramirez.
Oh, he's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, he was wandering around with blood all over him, but the ones like Gacy and the Green River Killer.
And Dahmer, was it the teenager ran out in his pants into the street to two police officers, and then Dahmer goes, oh no, he's with me.
And they take him back.
And he took him back, and he's like distraught, drugged in the street in a pair of pants, and the police just let him go. Pretty much like he is now in London, to be honest. All out there off my tits in my pants going, oh, but no.
And with that, Gail, we thank you so much for joining us. We seriously thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been such fun.
Thank you very much for having me. Hopefully we'll do some spooky stuff soon. Just say long live the ghosts, but that sounds weird, doesn't it? Come up to Edinburgh. We'll go to all the haunted places. You'll love it up there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, thank you for coming on. It's been so lovely to meet you.
I've been. I was there late last year. I did the Vault tour.
Yeah, that's great. So who took you around? Was it?
It was, oh my God, I'd have to dig the paperwork out. I can't remember the company that took us round, but there was the lady who took us round. She was absolutely fantastic and made a point of blaming the English for everything.
Oh yeah, they do that in Scotland. Of course they do.
Yeah.
When I first went down to London years and years ago, when my dad was still alive, he was like, "Right, Gail, when you go down to London, don't tell the English how great Scotland is because we don't want them." And it's the Banshee, isn't it? The pub up the road from the Vault. That is haunted as hell.
We did an episode recently about banshees, written by yourself, Marie. Absolutely fascinating episode.
Yeah. In my research, actually, I watched that Spooked Scotland episode where you go into the Banshee labyrinth, isn't it? And there was like a Banshee on the EVP thing, wasn't there, or something?
That was terrifying, that was. They were serving like little shops and stuff upstairs. And I don't think Chris had really sort of got the idea that Scotland, they drink a lot. So he said, yeah, I'll try one of those. And everyone was going for it. But they had about 4 or 5 spirits in per one of them things. He was like, wow, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, you can get about 5 spirits in that. And he said, oh, right, yeah. You don't muck about in Scotland, Chris. So unfortunately, Chris hasn't been too well. So if he listens to this, we wish him all the best.
Oh, yeah, I see he's not well. Yeah.
He's getting there. He's hopefully doing something in Ireland, I think, in September.
Oh, good.
And I think he's aiming to do something in April, but we'll see how he is.
Right. Thank you so much, Gail. We know you've got to get away.
Yes. And hopefully I'll see you somewhere soon.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you.